Hello, welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today I am making another fall-inspired soap. Even though I'm currently in the middle of summer, August heat, I have to think a season ahead for soaping, so it'll be all cured up and ready come fall season. And so I am making, it's called BIRCHWOOD Oude, how do you say it? From Bramble. It was part of their fall collection last year, and it smells really good. It's going to be very simple. I'm going to do a black and white swirl because birchwood. I grew up in Wisconsin, and there's a lot of birch trees there, so I'm very nostalgic about birch. So that'll be the scent today, and we're going to just make a really nice fall-inspired, birch-inspired soap. Also, if you enjoy my videos, please consider hitting the likes button and subscribe button. That would be so wonderful. And also, I'm on Instagram. If you want more up-to-date soaping pictures and what's going on in my soap shop, please consider checking that out. And we have all of our oils melted and cooled. And I have added my fragrance oil, the BIRCHWOOD Oude. How do you say it? I'm calling it Oude. So that's already in my oils because I want that in everything. And to my oils now I'm going to add my additives, which I have I have about 2 tablespoons of coconut milk powder. I have a couple tablespoons of kaolin clay and a couple tablespoons of organic colloidal oats. And I'm sorry about the glare, but that's all in here. All my powder additives. I'm going to go ahead and blend that into my oils and get it well dispersed before we get the lye, silk, and sodium lactate solution in here. Pardon the noise. So I have my fragrance and additives all blended really well into my oils, and I've got my lye solution here, which again does have tussa silk fibers, and sodium lactate, which is just a it's a hardening agent. It's a natural salt, and it just helps soap unmold easier and smoother, or so the theory goes. So I just add some in there because I have it and I'm using it. So there that is. Everything is cooled off. I'm working at about 74 degrees here. So I might give this just a quick stick blend. And now I'm going to hand stir the rest. So what the plan is, after I get this really well emulsified together, and the emulsion is simply just the lye and the oils all getting blended together, I am going to split off a little and do a bottom layer of some activated charcoal, just to give it some dimension, and then I'm going to do some titanium dioxide and activated charcoal in a swirl on the top because it made me think of birchwood, and I will do a mica line in there as well. Paper towel for my whisk here, and I'm going to pour off. That's pretty well incorporated. I'm going to go ahead and pour off a little here for my bottom layer. There we go. That out of the way, and there's my activated charcoal. Let me get this out of here because I'm going to stick blend this. I want it to firm up for the bottom layer and have a nice line with a mica line. So there we go. Put about 2 teaspoons in the bottom layer here, and we'll go ahead and get my immersion blender in there. This fragrance is really neat. It's yeah, it's a masculine scent if I had to categorize it, but I do like masculine scents. It's just a really nice fragrance. I like this, and it's easy to work with. I've got a nice medium to thick trace, and I will go ahead and get this poured in the bottom of the mold here. And I'm thinking about, I'm not sure if I want to do a little texture on it and mica line. I definitely want a mica line. I have my hammered copper mica. I'll show you what I'm using. from Crafter's Choice. And I haven't decided if I want it smooth or to do a little texture on there. I'm still thinking about this. Isn't that funny? A lot of people like to plan out their soaps before they get in there. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I just kind of go and see how it's feeling. Okay, it's set up for a few minutes. I'm just going to come in and do some very subtle lines back and forth with my spoon, just to give it a little dimension, not much. I don't know if you can see, it's just a little bit of a dimension in there. So I've got my hammered copper kettle mica here. It's beautiful, and I've got it in a little tea strainer, and I'm just going to go ahead and bop it around and get just a nice mica line before I do my swirls on top. All right, we've got our bottom layer set off to the side, and now I'm gonna reuse my black container for some more black, and well, I guess I'll leave my whisk in there. Pull this out and split off some of this for my black swirly portion. There we go. And to my big container, I have some titanium dioxide dispersed in some water here that I will go ahead and just add in here, just to brighten it up, because I want a nice, strong differential, you know. I don't want any beige. I want white and I want black for birchwood. There's just something classic about birch bark. I love it. Get some more activated charcoal in here. There we go. And I am going to stick blend this. Since my stick blender already has a lot of charcoal on it, we'll go ahead and just get that blended. My stick blender cleaned off. I'm going to come in here to the white portion for just a minute. All right. Pull that out and get that out of the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and do it in the pot swirl here. So I've got my black, and I'm just going to sort of go in a circle with it. I'm not saving any for the top because I have some of that hammered copper mica dispersed in some oils and some evergreen mica dispersed in oil that I want to just drizzle on top and do like a little drizzly top. I'll show you when I get there. That's in my mind. So is that there we go. That's probably the best angle for you. So let me go ahead and there we go. I'm just gonna break the fall. I'm going to spray this off with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to use the cover and let it go through gel face tonight, and we will come back tomorrow for the cut. It's the next day and ready to unmold our birchwood oude, however you say it. It came out really cool looking. So I've got these all beveled on the edges and I'm getting ready to stamp, and even though the swirl came out beautiful, I had a little bit of bleeding of the mica in there, so it's not a crisp white. It still looks really pretty and I'm very happy with these, my little birchwood bars, but I think I poured a little too aggressively and it caused the mica to lift, but it's still a beautiful swirl. So now I'm going to get to stamping. And the way I do that is I have my stamp, and I'll have a link for where I got this on Etsy down below. I take my rubbing alcohol, this is 91%, and I spritz it on here lightly, and it helps it release from the soap. Now it depends on, so I cut this yesterday, and it's been a day. This is a relatively softer soap. It had a high olive oil content. So I'm only going to tap once and I'm going to check this and see, and it looks pretty good. So I'm not going to be real aggressive with these. Sometimes if it's a very hard bar of soap, you can do a couple of taps and really get in there, but if it's a soft soap or a relatively new bar, like just go easy. And I do a couple bars and then I'll spritz again and do a couple more. And just, you know, you can kind of feel if it's releasing very easy or if you need to spritz again. So it's kind of a feel that you develop on how far it sinks in there. So I'll do one more here. Comes out nice and crisp, a nice impression every time, as long as you go slow and you spritz in between. So I'm going to get the rest of these stamped up, and thank you for watching.